Okay, next question. How do I wake up others, such as family members and other loved ones in my life? If you try to wake up anybody, oh, you are going to get slapped. Oh, I know you so desperately want to. Oh, I know. Oh my goodness, I understand so badly just wanting to tell everybody what's going on. Oh, but if you do, the backlash you're just going to get, oh, don't do it. Don't. That's my recommendation. No, no. Um, there's nothing you can do. Nobody likes to be pushed ever on anything. And one of the things that I am still learning and experiencing currently is how I behave when someone pushes me. So I always had my entire life, you can't tell me what to do. You. So, oh my goodness, when I started to understand things more and more and more, oh, I just wanted to correct people. Oh my goodness, I would hear someone say something and I just wanted to correct them. And I want to point out where they were wrong. I have a science background. I want to show them the scientific evidence of how they were wrong and what they were thinking, or this or that or whatever. Oh boy, that was a journey for me to go on, and still am going on, to walk the path of mastery of non-judgment and allowing people to do what they want to do. So, how to wake up other people? First of all, if they are really meant to wake up, like if they put in their blueprint prior to incarnating that there is a specific point in time that they're supposed to wake up, they will. Something will just occur in their life and they'll wake up. For those who didn't deliberately put it into their blueprint, they are learning lessons currently that hopefully for them, like they're hoping that those lessons will cause them to wake up on their own time, at their own pace. Here is a question for you. Again, no judgment to anyone who is on this type of religious path. I love you all for wanting to share your knowledge. So, if you have ever experienced individuals knocking on your door, ringing your doorbell, and wanting to discuss their point of view of their religious understandings, what do you do? I usually always, not usually, back before I changed who I was, I would just say no thank you and I would close the door. Now whenever that happens, well, it doesn't happen anymore, but when it was happening, I loved hearing what they had to say because it was a very interesting point of view. I didn't agree with most of what they were saying. Some of it I thought was very lovely, but I allowed them to say what they were going to say. But I also had zero intention of changing my belief system based upon what they said. I had no intention. I would be polite and very kind and say, thank you very much. I appreciate this, but I'm very content in my own belief system. I seriously had zero intention of ever changing what I believed based upon what they said. So I know there's lots of you out there that have experienced people knocking on your door to explain to you their point of view of their particular religion. So have you ever had the intention of changing your point of view based upon what they said? I'm probably sure that none of you have, maybe, but I'd be shocked if anyone actually did. Nobody, almost nobody ever wants to change their point of view because of what somebody else said. People have to experience things on their own that shake them, that cause them to rethink their reality. There is nothing you can do to cause people to wake up. All you can really do is say something in a very understanding way, like explain that you understand what they're saying. And now this is a skill and an art. You have to learn how to be able to phrase something from a different point of view where the person does not feel like they're being challenged, but instead they are being asked to explain this other point of view. And you would appreciate their input on this other point of view. Because if a person feels like they're appreciated, they're more open and willing to change, to accept new ideas, to expand their thinking. But if they feel like they're being challenged and being told they're wrong and being pushed back into a corner, oh, gloves off. They're just going to come out punching you. So if somebody says something about politics, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that really is interesting what you're saying, and I can totally agree with what you're saying from your point of view. I completely understand your point of view, and don't ever lie. If they'll know if you're lying, you have to understand their point of view. So I really understand your point of view on that. You know, I heard someone else say that blah 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 about the politics. So I wasn't really sure what to think about that. I mean, I can guess I can understand what they're saying from their point of view. What do you think? Can you see it from their point of view as well? I know it's hard, but what do you think about that? I know it goes against what you just said. I'm not trying to change that. It's just, it's a weird way of looking at it, isn't it? Or something like that, right? You want to be so gentle and caring and comforting to them when you are asking them to expand their way of thinking. It's uncomfortable. It truly is uncomfortable to expand your way of thinking when you're not used to doing it. If you're used to having your point of view and you just think everyone else, they're out to lunch, it's so comforting. Being in your point of view is comforting. It's this little security blanket. It's comforting. But if someone asks you to see it from this point of view, you have to completely move. You have to take off your security blanket and move. It's not physically or emotionally comfortable. So if you want to have a discussion with someone, I do not recommend ever telling them that you disagree with their point of view. That's not going to benefit you. I recommend explaining that you understand what they're saying and you agree with what they're saying from their point of view. And then if you bring in a third person, it can just be an imaginary third person. I had someone tell me about this thing, that kind of thing, right? And so that way it takes away the pressure of a confrontation between you and this other person, and just ask them to provide their knowledge and their input on this other person. See what they can do. Most people are just going to say, oh, well, they're crazy, they're wrong. Well, at least then you know where you're standing with this particular person's evolution in their consciousness, right? They've got the wall up, they've got the barrier up. They have no intention at this moment in time of expanding their consciousness. So, for a while, give it a break. But if you can get the person to go, I don't agree with what that other person thought, but I can kind of see what they're saying. Home run. And you just leave it at that. You don't push it anymore. Reward yourself later on that you have assisted someone in expanding their state of consciousness on their own at their own pace. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't have answered the question. So that would be about the extent that you possibly could ever influence anyone. Because if they're not ready, they're not ready. As much as you desperately want to just go, look at all this, look, can't you see what's going on in the world? Like, look at this evidence, look at these pictures, look at this, look at this, look at this. I so understand. Patience, compassion, understanding, love. You learn to keep this closed with a good smile on it and just, everything's okay. They're learning at their own pace if they want to. So be it. It is what it is. Okay, next one.